right? And that's
no,
that's
you're the only one who thinks that. Just for the
Nobody else. I don't. Yeah.
Well, that's what Lemmy hopes, anyways. So he's not going to spend that much time over there. He's not going to spend that much time trying to fix the branch, because once he casts the spells, it should all work on its own. Marty, do you want me, Marty, this is what Lemmy's going to do. To try to fix the branch is do control weather.
Sorry, this is one of those, like, it was a relatively simple question. The answer is just like, woo!
Well, I'll tell you what Lemmy's going to do to fix this. He's going to, what's it called? Shape wood.
Yep.
Shape wood and try to actually make connections between the two pieces. Have it rain, plant growth.
Yep.
And that
throw all your spells at it to try to make it reconnect. Got it.
That should hopefully make it work. And then you should be able to teleport his way to the third burning branch. Actually, he can get to the third burning branch very quickly. What he will do is use the guiding star.
Okay.
And then he was on the burning branch when he got stuck in the
in the accidental plane shift. You ended up.
Yeah, I got
branch.
there. I can greater teleport there.
You know the greater branch requires its own.
It's a different
plane.
plane.
It's like Yggdrasil's like there are planes with many levels. Yggdrasil has huge branches that are considered their own place.
So hard for the box.
You would have to travel down and then back up, or across if you were brave enough.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that.
Breach the inky void between the branches. At least the third branch is burning. It might provide light.
Light? That's not a bad idea. Depending on how far that will actually be. I think it's just best to fly down.
So the goal is to go and try to fix the breach to Vosgard.
Fix the breach and then get to Crucible.
And get to Crucible.
This is all
like see where the hole is.
Get on the Yig. So yeah.
Get on the Yig.
Yep.
Fix the breach. Find the path to Crucible, so that when we're like ready to go, we can all teleport there.
Do you know the path to Crucible?
Find the path.
Oh.
Yeah. We're at that point now. Investigation?
Take 10 minutes.
Okay.
It's telling me to go
magic
that way.
and everything.
Magication?
Got it. Okay.
And also, he's interested about what the witches were talking about when it said merge with Yig, or become Yig, or become a thing of Yig or something. Don't know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah, it understood the first 3D20, the K1 it didn't understand, but yeah, that rolled it all together. Yeah, we're just at the end of the game tonight. Augmented reality 0. Yeah, I don't think it understands the K1 at the end. But if you were trying to add modifiers, yeah, you can do it that way. Yeah, I'm curious as to Foxfire's question. Why do you want to go to Crucible again? Like, you're just trying to find the way there so that you can eventually teleport? Is that the goal?
Yes.
Okay.
The Crucible, the reason for Crucible is to go do terrible things to a Shimmernax, free.
Once we get to Crucible,
Lady Snakehead, and
get Acropolis back.
Bip Boom Bop or whatever his name is.
So get Acropolis back. Get the ring back.
Mm-hmm.
Get the axe for the dwarves, so that Lokrik can lead his people.
Neat.
Or rally his people or whatever. Hammer, axe, can't remember what it is. That's the goal. That's the reason we want to get there.
Okay.
Main reason is it's really Acropolis in our own friggin' ring.
So you want to be able to attack a Shimmer Axe from the wrong side, and then maybe go after the artifact that Lokrik was talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's a bunch of things over there.
Okay. And this it has been a campaign that's lasted over a year. Do you already know the way to Crucible, or are you relying on the spell?
The spell.
We know the song,
You know the song, right? That was the first
and
song
we know
you
that
ever
there is
encountered.
access to Crucible from the third branch, the one that's on fire.
Correct.
So
That's
yes,
where all the red dragons were. So
Yes,
we know
it's
that
at the-
that's the branch to go to Crucible.
it's at the top of the branch. So figure out where the branch is, work our way up the branch, get close enough, and use the spell. Because the spell might lead us somewhere else through another like world. But once we're close enough, it should lead us directly to the world portal.
2d4, d20, right? And if you want to separate the rolls, let's say you want to do four d20s, but you didn't want to add them together, you can do this 4 number sign, and you get the roll separated instead of seeing them all added together. And I think it has a limit, like 1,000 d10s.
It'll eventually say, I don't have enough dice for that.
100, 1,000 d6s. Does it 1,000 work?
I think it's at 20 that it runs out.
Oh, I might have crashed it. Whoops. Poor Modron. No, I didn't. Just didn't like it. 100.
40
d10s?
d6
Yeah.
it can do. Eh.
Yeah, it's an old, really old Ruby script that I hacked up to talk to the chat, because effectively Twitch chat is kind of like IRC. And then for me to add that need to like keep the highest, that's pretty cool. It only comes up once in a while, and you can kind of scan the. It's a neat feature.
It'd be really useful for the don't roll a 1.
Yeah,
Keep
the
the lowest.
don't roll a 1 kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the lowest. Oh, the lowest you rolled was 2, or the highest you rolled was 20.
I guess, but you have to know the number of instances. 'Cause that's really what matters most of the time.
Awesome. All right, so we've done some XP. You guys did level to 14th. This is not a training level because you train on odds. So yeah, you rest and you're able to level up. And then we'll divvy up some of the treasure kind of offline. There were all those Lenorm hordes that the dwarves are currently sorting through for you. And next game, Lemmy, Donovan, and Altagar are going to head into heaven so they can get to Nalbrun, so they can get to Yggdrasil, so that they can do things while they're there. I think this is a good place to leave it. It also leaves me a little bit of time before I need to go to bed.
Okay,
Then the dice squared is like a roll. Is the amount of the rolls for a certain... Oh, interesting. Yeah, this old school die roller definitely doesn't have that. It doesn't have exploding dice either. I saw some stubs for the classes for exploding dice, but it was never filled in. Like exploding dice where you roll a d6, if you get a 6, you keep on rolling d6s. Not that that's a big mechanic in Pathfinder, but...
No.
There are a couple things
Playing
that
Palladium?
do that. Yeah, exactly. what are we doing? Playing system we are not familiar with that would never play.
We are playing GURPS.
Man, there are still Palladium GURPS fans out there. Don't knock it, man. We're grognards right now for not going to 5th ed. We are so grognardy. Like, at least Pathfinder is still producing books for their system.
I
but
don't even know what a grognard is.
Grognard
Sorry,
is like basically if I said I only play 2nd edition, that would be the example of like, oh, he's such a grognard.
It's an old soldier.
An old soldier.
Noun, grognard, an old soldier.
Yep.
It's used in games and it's a slang.
Yep.
Somebody plays old war games or role-playing games, older versions of the games than the newer ones available.
What's the term from? Oh, I don't know the etymology of the term, but grog. It sounds like war games.
There's a
but-
Wikipedia entry for it.
Grognard.
There is so much nothing going on in this level. Damn it!
No.
I get more spells.
Ukher's strongman juice now lasts for 14 hours.
That's crazy, yeah.
So
That's
Ukher now
big
just
level
runs
fracking.
around with roid rage and pre-workout all the time.
Do you even live, bro? All the time.
Yeah,
Don't you want that
Midwick
bonus
gets-
intelligence? No!
We're reaching the point
Oh,
where
huge!
by not adopting 5e for this game, we're kind of on the edge of being grognards. You can argue Pathfinder still produces books for Pathfinder, but it's a mature system, we'll say. And most people have moved on to 5e. Most.
Yeah, so I can't do.
I
I
would
can't do
argue
it.
most people have regressed to 5e.
No, actually,
I would agree.
For the speed of the game, like we spent a lot of time playing. For the speed of the game, 5e has advantages.
Of course, but that's not why we're playing the
For the
game.
unification of the rules, it does not. You have to read every paragraph of every monster. For some of these Pathfinder monsters, I go, oh, it's got Swallow, and I know that that's the same way that Swallow works. You know, once I learn the rules once, I just need a term. Whereas D&D 5e is you have to read everything, because every monster has its own rules.
There was two excellent changes going from three. There's two that I really like though, from 3.5 to Pathfinder.
Yep.
One of them being the new version of skills. They simplified the skills. There's no more sneak and move silently or move silently.
There was a
and
collapsing of the skill set, yeah.
The
And they did that
collapsing of the
even
skill
more
set
in 5e, but go on.
Is the collapsing in the skill set is amazing, and then the universal monster rules being universal monster rules.
Yep.
Where monsters work more like classes, like they're classes with powers and rules that everything follows, as opposed to it's the CR2 thing with a 20th caster level wish spell that just sort of, I just wish the enemy non-existence. It's like
die creature who's casting spells like a 16th level caster or something like that.
Right,
They
yeah,
got rid
kind
of
of
that
nonsense.
kind of build. You still see it once in a while, but if you know how to build monsters, you don't see that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Persistent mutagen. That's a pretty good one.
So that was 2. What's the third thing?
Oh, the third thing, I like
CMB, CMD?
CMD is good.
Wait, did they have
Yeah,
that?
I like that too.
CMD is solid, but what I like
There's-
more than that is fighter.
I have some problems with it. Just for certain things. For the most part, 90% of it's perfect. But
Large
stuff like
creatures don't get a big enough advantage. I think physically large creatures.
sometimes they shouldn't though. Like if you're using the steel maneuver,
those maneuvers being added are giant mistakes.
yeah.
Steal and dirty trick. Dirty trick is the worst single mechanic in the game that nobody uses on this table.
No,
That's
it's not the worst. It's the panache and all the tack-on systems like panache and grit.
Those are
Where you do a thing and you get powers back. No one else does a thing in combat and gets more power back for doing the thing in combat. Like there's no other. They they're tilting it on the side for adding.
Yeah, but that's easy to fix though.
Yeah, you just make it like key points, and you're like it's like key
or an arcane pool. Yeah.
Correct. And it's
But- in terms of things about the core system, the fighter being awesome.
Yeah, fighters are awesome in this game.
Fighters are awesome in this game, and the fact that fighters really, really sucked in 3.5 hurt my brain.
yeah. Yep.
They really, really sucked, because every fighter would be a much better fighter if he took a level of barbarian, and that was dumb. Why would you be a
I
fighter?
still cherry pick barbarian with my fighters, but that's
Well, you can still cherry pick barbarian with your fighters, but now fighters are like, if the goal is do damage with a single weapon, the only thing that can outstrip a fighter is a paladin, and it's only if that paladin is fighting an evil thing.
Single thing, yeah.
And that's kind of how it should be. If you are the god of this is the thing I do with the thing, I murder with this one thing. This is the thing I murder with.
Where the more someone is fighting, the more stronger their combat ability is over the combat. There are a couple of spells that do that. It's like the longer you're in battle, the more it progresses.
I think the Song Dancer, Blade Dancer one.
Those ones annoy me because of the amount of tracking that needs to happen. It does exist, but it's not a core. You don't find it in the core book, which means it's kind of tack on. And then once you tack on this thing where it's, I panached you, or I critted you, or I downed you, now I get to do more cool stuff. It feels like a different system. Like they should have worked that into all the classes if that was the the way that the fighting should go, right? The wizard did a cool thing with a spell. He gets to do more cool things with spells. Alas, it does not work that way.
There's certain abilities that really shine through. Basically, anything that requires more rounds to be useful typically isn't very useful because the combats don't last more rounds.
The higher level combats, anyways.
Higher level combats, damage in the scales quite well.
Higher level combats in a mythic game don't last very
Well,
long.
they do. Well, higher level combats in a mythic game barely last a round. 2 rounds is like the longest any one. Like the way the combats last longer, that's actually multiple combats tagged together.
Ouroborous tonight was like 3 or 4 rounds because it was sneaking and
Right.
ducking, and there was some weird,
It
positioning.
was
going
playing
on.
jiggery pokery.
Because it didn't want to fight. That's why.
It had to fight smart because you hurt it when it was in a place where it didn't think it could get hurt. Yeah.
What we need to do is surround it with enough damage to just blow it up in one turn.
We'll get some ethereal dynamite. Lure it into
Are you
eating it.
thinking about going into the ethereal? Like Azildan go in the ethereal and attack it all by himself.
Yeah, I don't think that'll work out so well for Azildan. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think that Ukher needs to have the right spells running and stand out there like a man with it all flapping in the wind. Get gnawed on. And have everybody kill it. I think that's kind of the...
You're gonna tank it so that
Tank
everyone
it
else gets a
and-
chance.
So everybody gets a chance to kill it, and tank it so everybody gets a chance to kill it.
Neat.
What we also have to figure out is whether or not we need to do research if something that's been swallowed prevents it from going into the ethereal, because that might be the solution. No, you get in there.
Oh, Marty.
Take me,
Marty. Oh, is
Now you
there
can't leave
a
because
is there
the thing
a
you're, or it might
Because-
just expel you, but it's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
what is the skill for crafting? I guess siege weapons. Craft siege weapons.
Sure. I think there is a subset. It talks about craft siege weapons under siege weapons in some of the supplemental rules. You're going to build cannons is basically what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
He's going to build a battering ram.
Here you go, dwarves. Have some cannons. They like you.
Boom.
They don't. Lokrik doesn't want you to die. Probably for that reason.
Just going to throw it out there. Midwick is an unlikable...
Yeah, he's a prick.
He is unlikable in a way that as he is actively trying to murder civilians, and he's more likable.
Tonight I was like, no, my cool little NPC. I'm sorry for whining. I shouldn't allow, as a DM, I should be very impartial, but I'm like,
Don't worry.
you're gonna
Don't
murder
worry.
him?
I had some
Oh.
bias there too, because I hated that character in He-Man Masters of the Universe movie.
Oh, Gwildor? You didn't like Gwildor?
Yeah, I did not like Gwildor.
I thought Gwildor was the shit, man.
No,
I think that's-
even at the age of 8, it's like, how dare you deviate from canon? That's not a character.
Oh, I see. Okay. How
From,
dare
like,
you
the
create this little
cartoon?
gnomish
Yes,
little
fro-
guy? No, he's not from the cartoon. There was no Gwildor.
No, yeah, there was no
Let's
Gwildor.
try-
Probably
I'm trying to
because
figure out what the
probably
canon
because
is.
Orko would have looked really stupid. It just would have
They
been
could-
like
yeah.
a cloth with a with a with a hook. Just
Couple gloves pinned to it.
yeah, they didn't have a high budget probably. That
I
movie
did-
bugged me when I was young because there were lasers and swords. I know that He-Man has lasers, but it felt so much like Star Wars lasers that
Yeah.
I just didn't like that mix of.
He's He-Man and Masters of the Universe.
I know,
He's got a spaceship.
I know, but they look so much like Star Wars that for some reason.
What were they supposed to do? Fire bows and arrows at each other through space?
Some of the characters had bows.
They
Didn't
shot
they?
lasers.
Yeah, they were laser bows. I guess so. There was just something in general about I wanted it to be fantasy, and it was like fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14.
I don't know. I didn't watch that. I didn't watch
Yeah.
that. I didn't watch G.I. Joe. Like, these things where it's like, I know who Cobra Commander is, but
Cobra Commander's a shit. He was awesome.
I was playing the Transformers stuff. Like, I didn't realize how many Transformers there was, man. I'm going through the different Transformers games they made, and there's like different
Those
Transformers
movies
in every
are
mission. I'm like,
god
who the fuck are these
awful.
guys?
Oh, they're terrible. They're freaking awful. I don't know how anybody watches those movies. I stopped after I think the second one. I was like, I'm done.
The second
I'm done.
one, yeah, there was some. I can't even recall what the plot lines were, but the guy
Whichever
finds the
one
car.
had the
Shia LaBeouf.
the Blackbird in it, that was the one that I tapped out. The Blackbird, the high altitude
Yes.
spy jet of
Yep.
the U.S. military was some ancient
Oh right, yeah.
space alien
Yes.
transformer guy who
You
was
can stop
old
there.
and wanted
You
to.
can-
He was like a good robot who was like, but I was just going to kill all the humans, right? I'm like, okay. It's
I
like, what?
slept through the new Ghostbusters. I finally watched that one through Netflix, and I didn't. I got 15 minutes in. I don't remember anything else.
Dongal is excellent as a sports movie, as a foreign language movie. It's an Indian movie about wrestling. It's quite good. Swordmaster is highly entertaining. It's not very good, but it's highly entertaining. It's a
Oh,
Chinese
Castlevania just came out.
Ooh.
The
So-
Castlevania the movie?
No, the anime on Netflix.
Okay.
The Animu?
The Girl
Just
with All
saying.
the Gifts is an interesting take on a zombie movie. It's like a fungal outbreak as opposed to like a viral one. Or-
So that movie is the plot line to Last of Us, which is an excellent
Yeah.
video game.
Yep.
But that movie is basically that plot line.
Okay.
The Last of Us does it better.
And then Morgan was also a movie I watched recently, which was about artificial intelligence, kind of. And that one wasn't bad either. It at least was like, okay, I'm gonna pay attention till the end. If I start doing things like reading or game planning or like doing the dishes while the movie's on, you know, it's napping, you know.
Yeah.
It's
I
nap
watched
worthy.
part of
All
Morgan.
right, guys. I gotta go to the washroom, so I'm gonna call it a night.
All right.
later.
My man. See ya.
Right.
Okay, good place to leave it. Good chat. Good seeing you, Augmented Reality. There was Foxfire earlier. Shiraz we saw. Toasty. Fake went.
Toasty.
Yes. Good to see you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy this as much as we do. Peace. Have a good.
Yeah. Stay online, guys.